I don't know if this is like an everyday cocktail for me. If someone gave it to me, I would be like, interesting cocktail. But I don't know if I need to have it again. It's good, but it's not, but it's like rich. It's like rich and kind of powerful. Definitely not something that I would want to have every day. What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Educated Barfly. Today, we're doing a new kind of video, another new kind of video. Lately, I don't know if you've noticed, we've been trying to do a bunch of new style videos to just bring in a little bit of variety to the channel, and today is no exception. So today, what we're gonna be doing is tasting cocktails that people from Patreon suggested I should taste. As you can probably imagine, I get emailed a lot of recipes. Sometimes these are original cocktails that people have created that they want me to taste and get my feedback. Sometimes it's just, hey, I ran into all of these different cocktails that I think you should taste from a lot of different other bartenders. So I decided to put it out to our Patreon subscribers to send me any cocktails that they wanted me to taste, and I'd make some videos on it. Today, the cocktails were suggested by our Patreon, Andreas Toft, who has been very supportive over this last year. The recipes that he sent me are from different bartenders. Two of them are from our good friend Southern Teague. For today's episode, we are partnered up with Geology. Geology is a 35-time award-winning skin, hair, and body care company recognized in Men's Health, Hypebeast, Birdie, Esquire, Ask Men, and Oprah's Daily Grooming Awards. Geology creates simple and effective skincare and hair care routines customized just for you with ingredients that are proven to work. Their products are built around just a handful of powerful proven ingredients that have been trusted by dermatologists for decades. It isn't just about looking and feeling good, it's about delivering real results to you guys. So now you can stop sifting through endless products because Geology has distilled skincare to its essentials with trusted dermatologist-approved ingredients. During the summertime, I end up taking my kids to the beach quite a bit, and I have skin that tends to burn. So one of my favorite products is their performance sunscreen that keeps my face feeling good and not red like a lobster. And then when I'm ready to leave the beach, I use a little of the performance moisturizer as after sun, and my skin is feeling chef's kiss. So guys, what are you waiting for? You're gonna have to grab this offer before it's gone. You use my code BARFLY70 and grab 70% off the skincare trial set. And then also there's another 50% off on add-ons waiting for you. And to make things even easier, they are now available in Target and Amazon. So go check it out. Oh My Word was created by bartender Southern Teague, who is a friend of the show. He is a former chef who became a bartender and bar owner, most famously for being the proprietor and, head creative talent behind Amore Amargo in New York City. This cocktail contains green chartreuse, which is going to irritate all of you guys because chartreuse is an allocated product these days, and it's kind of hard to find. So I got this bottle. It's an American herbal liqueur from, what is it called? It's Dismal Harmony Distilling. It is called Monk. It is their answer to chartreuse. When they sent this to me, they said that in taste tests, everybody that they had given this could not taste the difference between this and green chartreuse. So I decided, what are we gonna do? A blind tasting. I'm gonna leave the room. Marius is gonna pour these. I am going to put a blindfold on, and I'm going to taste them, and I'm going to, I guess, tell you which one I think is green chartreuse and then which one I like the best, right?
Yes, yeah, kind of your only options. Oh, man.
Ah. You ready or what?
No.
How does this take? It's pouring two things in a glass. How could it possibly take this long?
Well, for one, the cap got destroyed. All right, you got your blindfold on?
Yes, I do.
All right.
I've had it on this whole time. I don't know if I can see anything though, if I like getting in here.
Oh.
I don't know where anything is.
That's where the thing.
Oh, that's the cart, okay.
Cart here, yeah.
Well, I don't want to like slam into the camera either.
Yeah, so that's here. And then you go.
Like,
it's okay. Go to here. Okay. There, yeah, okay.
all right.
All right.
Am I in front of everything now?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Well, you put them really close together.
Yep.
Okay. Whoa. Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay. I think I already know which one is chartreuse.
Okay.
This one's close though, but this is the chartreuse, and then this is the other, the imitation chartreuse.
If you say so. Okay.
Yeah, this is definitely Chartreuse. I mean, it's unmistakable. Where's my water bottle?
Oh, I don't know. That's.
I mean, it's this close, but it's much different. Seems like there's a lot more licorice on the nose. And this one is like, it's got that like it's like Chartreuse has this very particular kind of sweetness attached to the herbalness that's like very distinctive. And this lacks that, but it's still super herbal, although I smell like a lot of licorice on this. And almost like maybe like toasted almond or something. See, this is like more sharply sweet. And this one is like richer and like even more pronounced herbal flavors. They definitely nailed that back palate herbalness that you get with Chartreuse with this, but it's almost deeper and richer. They got the sugar content right and they got the proof right though too. I mean, it's, you know, Chartreuse kind of goes in like a little bit hot, you know, and then it kind of devolves to this sort of honeyed sweetness. And this thing does the same thing, but it has like an almost like richer sort of alpine, or almost like pine tree kind of flavor to it, along with like that toasted walnut flavor that I was talking about. And then also that like just pronounced anise, like it's really licoricey. It's really good. I don't honestly, I don't know if you could maybe tell the difference in certain cocktails. I think in stirred cocktails, you would definitely be able to tell the difference. I feel like for this video, I might pull out another mixing glass and we'll do back-to-back tastings. Yeah, like I think I'm gonna pour each one. I'm gonna have one with Chartreuse and then one with this imitation. Then we can taste the cocktail back-to-back and see how similar it is. I think that this is very different than Chartreuse, but it is doing kind of all the right things to be like a Chartreuse alternative, I guess.
Okay, you can take your blindfolds off.
Are you kidding me? This is the Chartreuse?
Yes.
Really?
No, it's not.
No, that's the, yeah, you, because I thought you did this. And I was like, there's no way. I was like, there is no way. That would have surprised me, man. I would have been like, that would have challenged everything I know about like spirits if I had like gotten that so wrong. But did you do this on purpose to trick me? Like this,
well,
or did you just put them there?
I put them, try to not to put them as... Yeah.
I gotta say, the color is like really on point too. Like they really got that color
it's a little
correct.
More yellow.
Yeah, this one is a little greener. Like if you like look down here, this one's a little lighter, paler. It's like a paler yellow. When you refract the light through it, it's like very close. This one's a little more alpine green. This one's a little bit more like yellow Chartreuse, but it still has that like, it's very close. It's like very close.
Yeah.
On sight, I could tell the difference just because this one almost has like an olive oily greenness to it, whereas this one's just a bit paler.
Mm-hmm. But in person, they look closer than they do on camera right now.
In person, they look closer. Oh, the camera is distinguishing between the colors better than our human eye can. That's interesting. It's just like, I mean, I see it right here. I can see that this is just a deeper, darker green. This kind of looks like, extra virgin olive oil almost, poured into like a large quantity of that. Whereas like this color is like a little bit more muted. It's a little more yellow. This though, I gotta say, like this one has like herbs and then it's sweet and then kind of hot, but this one has more depth of flavor. And I'm not saying that as like this as a negative thing to Chartreuse, because I love the way that Chartreuse tastes. But this definitely has like a crazy depth to it. And what is the proof on this? So it's 110. This guy's 114. So they're pretty close. No. They're both 110. Never mind. I thought this was 114. No, they're both 110. So they're both 55 proof. Yeah, like even in the bottle, you can kind of see the difference in color. Mm-hmm. But this is super close to that. I mean, I'm very impressed with it.
Is it?
I just wonder how it's going to perform in the cocktail now. Now I'm very intrigued to figure this out.
Is it closer than Faccia Bruto, Centerbe?
I mean, do we have to just add the Centerbe now and taste them all back to back?
Oh well, just from
memory. No. Let's just grab the Centerbe. We have it. Well, we might as well just do it. Let's give it a ranking between all three, right? I mean, Chartreuse is going to win because it's the original. But the other thing that we've got to discuss here, though, Marius, is like, are these products actually trying to be Chartreuse, or are they just trying to be their own product inspired by Chartreuse? Because honestly, I kind of feel like the Faccia Bruto isn't necessarily trying to be Chartreuse. It's just trying to be an alternative, but its own thing. I feel like this one is a little bit more like we're going to try and backwards deconstruct the flavor profile of Chartreuse.
It sounds like if they're like, oh, nobody can tell the difference, then they're trying to be Chartreuse.
Right, they're trying like they're really trying to make something that's like this isn't allocated. You can, sorry, yeah, this isn't allocated. You can buy this right now. This is our, nobody can tell the difference. Although I can definitely tell the difference. But okay, so let's taste the Faccia Bruto. I mean, that Centerbe is fucking incredibly good. I mean, they both nail the pininess. But I think that the Centerbe, I know they're both successful in their own way. I think that the Centerbe really plays up the pininess, whereas like this guy has a little bit more complexity. And then like back to the regular. First of all, I like them all. I think they're all very good. I like Chartreuse the best because honestly, it has a complexity that builds on your palate over time. It's got a very long finish. It just keeps giving and giving and giving. And the flavor profile changes as your palate like sits with the flavor. It develops on your palate. Mm-hmm. I like this one a lot, but it plays up very different herbs to the Chartreuse. It is also very complex, but it has that almost like toasted almond kind of back palate taste, and then it also has that pronounced pininess. It's a little bit like deep and dark in flavor, if that makes sense. It's not as like light and bright, whereas like the Centerbe is like light and bright and like citrusy. It like plays up that like bright citrusy note. I kind of feel like if you combined these, you might get close to this, because both of these are less complex, but this uses 130 herbs and like spices from the Alpine region. This one uses way less than that, and I don't even know how many this one uses. Let's see.
Let's do it.
Let's do what?
Combine the two. Pour one into the other glass.
50% and 50%.
No, just pour it into the glass. Just pour it straight into the.
Oh, we don't know if it's like an equal amount though.
It's close enough. It's not an exact science. It's just like, are they?
This is exactly what gets everyone all riled up. Okay.
It looks closer in color, but.
Yeah, it's like much closer in color.
It's almost exactly the color.
I feel like if you just take these two products and mix them together, you're going to have something closer to Chartreuse. That'd be really funny.
Actually, put it in the glass with the eggs in case we get confused. No, it's still so much. No, never mind.
I mean, yeah, but I'll drink some out of it. Right. So we know which is. I don't think we're going to get confused, though. I don't think that it's going to. Yeah, see, that plays up like It has like a lot of floral notes that I think the other two are missing. It has a floral note along with bright citrus and then also that like alpine kind of piney flavor. That is so jarring when you first taste it. I mean, why don't you come here and taste it? It's pretty freaking good. I mean, I was kind of half joking when I said if you mixed them together that you would get something close to Chartreuse, but why don't you taste them both and tell me what you think? But like, it's actually not that far off the mark.
Just color-wise, they look almost identical.
Almost identical, right. Oh, you need your water so you can wash your palate in between.
Oh, birds in the nose. Okay, this is a Chartreuse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost exactly the same.
It's pretty fucking close. Why did you start laughing?
No, it's just like the burn in my throat.
I thought you started laughing while you were drinking, which is a painful prospect when you're drinking high-proof freaking spirits. I mean, is it crazy? I think we just invented a true Chartreuse alternative. They're super close. Yeah.
I'm not an expert, but yeah, I don't think I could tell the difference between these two.
So let's, now we're going to taste this in a cocktail. Let's actually get into making the cocktail that we're supposed to be making right now. And I'm going to use different jiggers so that we don't mix them up. So that's the green Chartreuse, 3/4 an ounce. This is going to be a stirred cocktail as well, so 3/4 an ounce. This cocktail is just super easy to do. It's just all 3/4 ounces, like last word specs here. So 3/4 an ounce of Montenegro. Am I being really anal retentive about the Chartreuse? I kind of am, but I don't want anyone to be able to criticize this. Say, oh, well, you mixed the flavors and the other one, of course, it tastes the same. I have a feeling that this is going to be super similar. 3/4 Maraschino Liqueur and 3/4 Old Tom Gin. I figured that the Ransom Old Tom Gin that has some barrel aging is going to do better in this cocktail than the Haymans, the unaged Haymans would be. So we're going to use the Ransom, but if you want to use some other Old Tom Gin, you absolutely can. I always forget the bitters when I don't do them first, so we're not going to do that. We're going to do 2 dashes of our lime bitters here.
Yeah, that's
I mean, that's super close, right? It's like
close, yeah.
super close. It's inarguably close. I had you come and taste it because people would be like, of course you're going to say that if I say it. But if you say it, they're going to believe you because you, they know you as a no-nonsense kind of guy, you know?
And also, and I don't have like any bias one versus the other.
You have no skin in the game.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why you would say that they tasted similar if it wasn't the truth.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. That's true. Although I kind of feel like that what that means, like what you're saying, is that my tasting is biased based on my... You're basically telling me that it is possible that my tasting is completely biased based on my ideas.
Or
like what I want to be true, not what necessarily is true. And I really hope that that's not the case.
No, or to maybe phrase it differently. Like, I am not like a Chartreuse expert. I don't know if I've ever had Chartreuse straight up before.
Right. So, you're more like...
so I don't know what it's supposed to taste like. But tasting the two between each other, I don't know.
So yeah, it's good to know because it's actually like I have a palate that I've been priming with this stuff for a really long time. Mm-hmm. You have a kind of a virgin palate, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
So we can sort of speak to both types of palates and say, whether you're a novice or a professional,
pretty darn similar.
It's pretty gosh darn similar to each other. Yeah. So if you want basically like a reasonable, identical facsimile of Chartreuse, just take 50% Faccia Bruto and 50% of the Monk and mix them together, and it's almost indistinguishable from actual Chartreuse.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like both of these companies did opposite things correctly in the Chartreuse flavor profile. So you just put them together and you have your Chartreuse. It's an expensive prospect, but at the same time, you'll have double the product, right? So, you know. And it will actually probably cost you less than a bottle of Chartreuse will now.
Yeah, and the color is pretty spot on. Even in the camera, the color is like the same.
So we know that this one is the Chartreuse. Mm-hmm. Taste this one first. Ooh, really nice. Chartreuse goes so well with the barrel notes of the Old Tom Gin, and you get that bright like lime bitters. Like these lime bitters, the ones from Scrappy, they have the bittering elements right in the finish, but the first thing that you taste is that just like amazing punch of lime, which is like, oh, it's good. I mean, it's pretty close. This one? Okay. There is a... Okay. They're very close in flavor profile, almost identical. But the one with Chartreuse has this back palate bitterness and like, I don't know how to say it. It's like bigger on your back palate. It's fuller in flavor than this. This one actually tastes a little flatter, but flavor profile wise, it's the same. Texture is the same pretty much, but this still has more complexity. The way that the Chartreuse is combining with the other ingredients is like you taste this back palate like bigness. I don't know how to describe it other than that. It's like this kind of big flavor on your back palate. It's a little bit bitter that you're missing here, and it makes this one taste flat. But not only that, it plays up the lime bitters much more in the other cocktail than in the Chartreuse cocktail. So I prefer the Chartreuse cocktail because it has more depth of flavor. It's just bigger, it's more complex, and there's more going on. But this is a reasonable facsimile and a very good cocktail if you can't get your hands on Chartreuse. So there you go. What's really nice about it is that the very particular sweetness of the Chartreuse kind of gets tempered a little by the Maraschino Liqueur in there. You get the lime bitters that really plays up kind of a nice bright finish. Plays really well with the botanical complexity of the Chartreuse. And then the barrel notes of the gin are not lost in there either. I was hoping for a better result. Well, I shouldn't say better result because this one is really good, but it's just not as similar as I wanted it to be. And I kind of feel like when you start adding different flavors to it, you start diluting the flavor, lengthening it a little bit with other things. It's like a little bit more of a truth teller than just tasting it straight. But I will say that that there's a very reasonable facsimile. These two alone are just very nice spirits, Chartreuse-esque spirits. But when you put them together, it's a pretty reasonable facsimile of Chartreuse itself, and you're not compromising too much on the proof because this one is the exact same proof as Chartreuse. And what is Faccia Bruto? Is Faccia Bruto close-ish? This one's 45, so you compromise a tiny bit in the proof when you mix them. But so there it is. The oh my word. The Pumpernickel is created by Southern Teague for his bar Amore Gamargo in New York City, and it is a Manhattan riff. First thing we're going to do is 7 dashes of Angostura bitters, which is going to be 14 dashes out of this thing, which is crazy. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is 3/4 of an ounce of Punt E Mes, which is an Amaro vermouth blend. And it is very, very good. One of my favorites. I could drink this stuff just neat. And then we're going to do 3/4 of an ounce of Ramazzotti. This Amaro has cola nut in its makeup, which makes it very, I don't know, it almost has like a Coke style like back palate flavor, which is really nice. I don't know why I'm putting the bottles there. I should probably just put it back over here. And then we're going to do 1.5 ounces of Rittenhouse rye. It's 100 proof rye. It's got a corn forward mash bill, so it gives you all those nice bourbon notes. So if you decide to sub this out, just make sure you go with a heavier corn mash bill if you want to kind of equate the flavor. If not, you can use like, I don't know, Old Forester or something that plays up a little more rye.
What about that mellow corn that people kept mentioning?
Mellow corn is not, let me just tell this to everybody, okay? We made a video about bourbon. Mellow corn is corn whiskey. It's not bourbon. It's corn whiskey. Corn whiskey by like, I don't know if it's a law or if it's just like, but like the way that it's supposed to be like considered corn whiskey, it has to be 80% corn. It's just not bourbon. So why are people saying, oh, mellow corn, mellow corn? It's corn whiskey. It's not even in the same category of what we were tasting.
Does it taste bourbony?
Mellow corn's great. I love it. I love mellow corn. I love to do mellow corn shots with a little, Pilsner or whatever, but it is not bourbon. Well, it's bourbony in that it's made out of corn and other grains, but it's 80% corn, so it's like a lot lighter, a lot sweeter. It's just a completely, it's not a completely different flavor profile, but it's a different flavor profile. That being said, the mellow corn is bonded, so it's 4 years old and from one growing season, a single distillery, all that stuff, and it's good, and it's like for the price, dude, it is really good. I think that like, corn whiskey has always been like, kind of like rye, the redheaded stepchild of bourbon. Not a lot of people had drank it. It's not, even to this day, is really not that popular. And so people are finding the mellow corn and being like, oh, this is really good quality. It's a nice sipper and I can make cocktails with it. But it is not bourbon. It is corn whiskey. Just give it a stir. I've been very happy that people have been asking me about this glass because this is our prototype glass. This is actually the rejected design. So we've made some tweaks to this, but we will have a new glass coming out pretty soon. So we're going to pour this into our glass like so. But I think I'm going to do a express and discard on this one. Go like that, get the lemon goodness, and then discard it. Let's give it a taste. Whoa, oh my God. It's almost like tasting, you know what it tastes like? I mean, you taste the rye, although the barrel notes are a little bit lost. The Ramazzotti and the Punt E Mes together make it taste like Coca-Cola that has been reduced. by heat. It's like Coca-Cola syrup almost. And then you get some of that rye spice kind of on the back. It's really good. I love it. It's fantastically incredible. I think that putting the lemon oil on top of there was also pretty key. You lose a little bit of the complexity of the rye in the kind of bigness of the Ramazzotti, and the, also Punt E Mes is kind of a big flavor as well. You do get some of that like rye spice, and then you get like a little bit of the, I used to call it maltiness, but then people were like, you're going to confuse everybody into thinking malted barley and like things that are malted. So it's really like, I changed the descriptor of malty to like yeasty, which does not sound great. But that's what it is. It's almost like bread, like a bread flavor, like a unleavened bread or something.
Like a doughy bread, yeah.
Yeah, like kind of a doughy bread. Yeah, like that, I guess when you smell like a doughy bread, you get like that, along with the spice, and then you get those barrel notes. In this cocktail, I mean, the barrel notes are obviously contributing to the whole flavor of the cocktail. If you change the spirit, like if you change the whiskey to something else, it's definitely going to change the flavor of the cocktail, but it's not immediately apparent. I'm not like picking out individual flavors of the barrel or anything. This is fantastic though. So there it is, guys, the Pumpernickel. The Golden Ghost was created by Brooklyn bartender Brian Evans for the bar Sundays in Brooklyn. 1 dash of orange bitters, 3/4 of an ounce of white creme de cacao, 3/4 of an ounce of Genepy, which everyone called poor man's Chartreuse until so many other companies got in the game here. But this stuff is pretty cheap at about $23 a bottle. 3/4 of an ounce of Vita Mezcal. You want to use an Espadin Mezcal if you decide to sub out for something else. And we got a brand new bottle of Tequila Ocho. We need to open. Said that in a very weird way, but it's okay. 3/4 of an ounce of our Blanco tequila. Let's give this a strainy poo, shall we? Let's strain it from high. It's very pleasant looking. It looks like a martini. This is one of those drinks that play against expectation, which is my absolute favorite type of drink. Like, definitely plays against expectation. You get the creme de cacao like right up front, and then you get the Genepy, which is like kind of muted, and then you get the like, I don't want to say like smoky character of the mezcal, but like it's a little bit smoky, but like the Vita is not really very smoky. It's a tiny bit smoky, but you just get like a tiny hint of smoke, and you get those like kind of vegetal sort of green flavors along with the just like agave flavor, and then you get the tequila. What's interesting is that some of these ingredients are pretty pronounced in their flavor, like Genepy and the creme de coco. You can taste the sum of its parts. You can taste it as a whole. It's got a nice complexity, but you can also taste them separately at the same time, which is really interesting. What I love about it is that it just does not look like an after-dinner cocktail, but it tastes like an after-dinner cocktail. It's just a dead ringer for a martini. A little slice of lemon, though, a little lemon twist would be really good on this, I think. I don't know if this is like an everyday cocktail for me. If someone gave it to me, I would be like, interesting cocktail. But I don't know if I need to have it again. It's good, but it's not, but it's like rich. It's like rich and kind of powerful. And it definitely not something that I would want to have every day. There it is, guys, the Golden Ghost. Ooh. You can sub our Patreon, and what tier is it in though? Do you know? Because Chartreuse is, how many planes need to come by? Like, seriously, in the last 5 minutes.
It's been busy.
Whew. This cocktail contains, you guessed it, green Chartreuse. Not you guessed it, because I didn't
Who was guessing?
Provide anything for them to guess.
Do you have a water bottle here?
Yeah, I have like a, I'm like, I know. Yeah, it's like a Walla one. Yeah, but it is doing kind of all the right things to be like a Chartreuse alternative, I guess.
Yeah.
But when you hold it up to the light and you reflect. That's the 411. That's the haps on the crabs, as they used to say in the 90s.
The new rule is
don't drink mellow corn.
Or the first rule of corn.
Don't drink it. Don't tell anybody.
I know, yeah. First rule of corn whiskey is don't talk about corn whiskey.
Yes, that's the first rule of corn whiskey.
The Brooklyn bartender, Brooklyn Evans, who was working at Brooklyn's and Sundays, no, Sundays Brooklyn's, no, what was it?
Yeah, he's a Brooklyn bartender who's working at a bar called Sundays in Brooklyn. That's why in the other version I said confusingly.
Brooklyn bartender Brooklyn Evans worked at the Brooklyn.
No, Brian Evans.
Oh, okay.
Not Brooklyn Evans.
Oh, okay.
Brooklyn is kind of a lady's name anyway, isn't it?
I don't know.
He's a Brooklyn bartender, Brian Evans, working at Sundays in Brooklyn. You get the creme of cacao. For as many years as I've been doing this, I am like...
Terrible at opening?
Yeah, I'm just like surprisingly incompetent at opening the little plastic around the bottle.
And the bottle looks pretty cheap.
Huh?
And the bottle looks pretty cheap.
Well, it is cheap. I mean, it's like, you know, it was in that same family as like Rittenhouse, where like Rittenhouse, before this like kind of whiskey craze got going and before anybody was paying attention to rye and everybody was just collecting bourbon and, you know, drooling over Pappy Van Winkle, Rittenhouse rye was like $20 a bottle. It was like $19.99 a bottle. It got more expensive as demand has gone up. And Mellow Corn, I think, was like $12.99. Now I think it's a little bit more. You know, probably get it for about 20 or something. But it is still in a category of whiskey that isn't super popular, and so you can get these bottles for pretty cheap. But the more people start saying that on the internet, Mellow Corn, the more people go out and buy Mellow Corn, the higher the prices are going to go. And pretty soon, that is also going to be like a $30 bottle. I mean, Rittenhouse, the last time I bought a bottle was like $35, which is a massive increase from just 5 or 6 years ago. You know, so.